You already know something is wrong. You go to work, you come home, you try to save a little money here and there, and somewhere deep down there is this nagging feeling that no matter how hard you work, you are not actually getting ahead. You watch prices go up. You watch your savings barely move, and every single month feels like you are running on a treadmill that keeps getting faster. That feeling is real, and it is not because you are doing something wrong. It is because nobody ever sat you down and showed you how money actually grows. Today that changes. What I am about to show you is a strategy so simple that most people overlook it completely, and that simplicity is exactly what makes it so powerful. We are talking about a specific way of using ETFs, exchange-traded funds, to build serious wealth over time. Not lottery ticket investing, not day trading, not guessing which stock is going to explode next week. A quiet, systematic, almost boring strategy that has been quietly turning ordinary people into millionaires without them having to become financial experts. And before we go any further, I want you to know that if you are someone who feels like investing is too complicated, too risky, or just not something people like you do, I am going to show you today that you are wrong about that, and I mean that in the most respectful, caring way possible. Now, a little bit into this video, I'm going to mention a program we have linked in the description below that goes much deeper into everything I am covering today. I want you to know it is down there, but honestly, if you are the kind of person who thinks you can figure all of this out on your own, you probably do not need it. Some people are built for going it alone. Others want a faster path. I will let you decide. Let us start with the real problem. Most people who try to invest on their own make one of two catastrophic mistakes. Either they do nothing because they are overwhelmed and confused, and they keep saying they will start later, or they throw money at individual stocks based on something they heard, watch it go nowhere, and then give up and swear investing is a scam. Both of those paths lead to the same place. Years pass, decades pass, and the wealth they could have built just evaporates into thin air. Here's what nobody talks about. Time is not just valuable in investing, time is the whole game. Every single month you wait to start this strategy, you are not just delaying your results, you are cutting them in half. The math is almost cruel. $1 invested wisely today is worth dramatically more than $10 invested 10 years from now because of something called compound growth. And compound growth is the closest thing to a superpower that exists in the financial world. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine two people. One starts early, investing a small amount every single month using the strategy I am about to describe. The other keeps waiting for the perfect time, the perfect amount, the perfect moment of confidence. 20 years later, the first person is sitting on a portfolio that has grown beyond what they ever imagined. The second person is still waiting, still planning, still watching their savings account earn almost nothing. That story is happening right now, all around you. The only question is which side of it you are on. So what exactly is an ETF? Think of it this way. Instead of buying one apple from one tree and hoping that tree produces fruit forever, you buy a small piece of an entire orchard. An ETF, or exchange-traded fund, lets you invest in hundreds or even thousands of companies all at once with a single purchase. If one company struggles, it barely affects you. If the market overall grows, and historically over long periods it always has, you grow with it. That is the foundation. But here is where it gets interesting. Because not all ETF strategies are created equal. The strategy that has been quietly producing extraordinary results is built on three pillars: consistency, diversification, and time in the market instead of trying to time the market. Consistency means you invest a set amount every single month regardless of what the market is doing. This is called dollar cost averaging. And here is why it is so powerful. When markets dip, your regular investment buys more shares at a lower price. When markets rise, your existing shares grow in value. You stop trying to predict the unpredictable, and instead you let math work for you automatically. This sounds simple because it is. But simple is not the same as easy. Because the moment markets drop, every human instinct screams at you to stop, to pull your money out, to wait. And that panic, that completely understandable human reaction, is exactly what destroys most people's results. The people who become wealthy with this strategy are not smarter than you. They are not luckier than you. They have simply learned to stay the course when everything inside them wants to run. That is the real skill. And it is learnable. Diversification is the second pillar. And this is where ETFs genuinely shine. When you pick individual stocks, you are making a bet on one company. Maybe it works out. Maybe it does not. But when you invest in broad market ETFs, you are spreading that risk across thousands of companies in dozens of industries all over the world. You are not gambling on one horse. You are betting on the entire race continuing to happen. And history shows it always does. The third pillar is time in the market, not timing the market. This is where so many people get destroyed. They think they need to find the perfect moment to buy in. They watch charts, they read predictions, they wait for a crash that may or may not come. And while they are waiting, the market quietly climbs. The people who are already in get richer. The people still waiting get left further behind. Studies repeatedly show that missing just the 10 best trading days in a decade can cut your total returns by more than half. Think about that. 10 days out of thousands. Missing those 10 days because you were on the sidelines trying to be clever cost you a staggering portion of your wealth. The best strategy is almost always to get in, stay in, and add consistently. Now let us talk about the compounding math, because this is where your jaw should drop. Imagine you start investing just $200 a month using this kind of broad ETF strategy. You never increase the amount, you just stay consistent. In 10 years, assuming average historical returns, you would have somewhere in the range of $30,000 to $40,000 more than you put in. That is not nothing. But in 20 years, that number grows to something closer to $150,000 above your contributions. And by 30 years, you are approaching or surpassing the kind of number that changes your entire life. That is not a fantasy. That is compound growth doing exactly what it has always done throughout financial history. And the key insight that most people miss is that the growth accelerates. The last 10 years of that 30-year journey produce far more wealth than the first 20 years combined. Which means the worst thing you can do is quit before the magic happens. And the second worst thing you can do is never start. Here's the part where I need to be honest with you about something. Most people who hear this information feel inspired in the moment, maybe even excited, and then life happens. They close the video, they go back to their routine, and somehow they never actually open that brokerage account, never actually set up that automatic investment, never actually take the first step. Weeks go by, months go by, and the gap between where they are and where they want to be gets a little bit wider every single day. I am not saying that to make you feel bad. I am saying it because I understand exactly how it happens. This stuff feels overwhelming, even when someone tells you it is simple. And that gap between understanding something and actually doing it, that is where most wealth dies before it ever gets born. And that is exactly why the program we have linked in the description below exists. It is not for everyone. If you are the kind of person who will watch this video, do your own research, set up your own strategy, and stay disciplined through every market dip and every moment of doubt, then you probably do not need it. But if you are the kind of person who has been meaning to figure this out for months or even years and somehow has not made it happen yet, that program might be the most valuable thing you look at this year. It is down there when you are ready. Let me give you the piece of this that most people never get to. The real reason this strategy works is not just the math. It is the identity shift that happens when you become someone who invests every month without exception. When that automatic investment goes out every month and you do not even feel it anymore, you have crossed a line. You are no longer just a person who knows about investing. You are an investor. And that identity, that quiet confidence of knowing you are building something real while everyone else is spinning their wheels, that changes how you see everything. You stop panicking when you hear scary news about the economy because you know your strategy is built to survive it. You stop comparing yourself to people who claim to have made a fortune on a hot stock tip because you know the slow lane is actually the fast lane when the math plays out. And you start making decisions from a place of security instead of fear. That shift is worth more than any specific investment return. The people building real, lasting wealth right now are not the ones chasing the next big thing. They are the ones doing something incredibly boring, incredibly consistent, and incredibly powerful every single month. They are the ones who decided to stop waiting and started letting time and compound growth do the heavy lifting. You can be one of those people. Not someday. Not when everything feels perfect. Starting now with whatever you have, however small, at whatever pace makes sense for your life. Because here is the truth that I want to leave you with. The best time to start was a long time ago. The second best time is right now. And every day you wait is a day of compounding growth you will never get back. The program in the description below is there for people who are done waiting. It is for people who are ready to stop watching from the sidelines and actually build the life they have been putting off. If that is you, go look at it now. Not later, not tomorrow. Right now, while this feeling is real and the intention is strong. Because the person who acts on this moment is the person who looks back years from now and knows exactly when everything changed,